Good morning, Zio here. Epic bit the apple, and the apple bit back. Brutally. So grab yourself some coffee, sit back, relax, and let's get into this Epic versus Apple thing again, shall we? And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and do so now. Like the video, dislike it if you dislike it at the end. You know, all that good stuff. Leave me a comment, something down below. Say you were here. But yeah, if you hadn't heard, Epic has sued Apple. It also sued Microsoft and Google, I think. But yeah. Anyway, the big thing is the Apple one, right? So what is Epic actually suing Apple for? Well, they're suing them for being a monopoly, right? Got to use their app store. There's all this other stuff, and we're going to sort of quickly go through that to get to the Apple striking back part, because Apple brings the fire, and dang, Epic, that's gotta hurt. But yeah, you know Epic, right? Epic Games. They got the Epic storefront, and we've seen them do this, right? Where they go ahead and they poach games from Steam and GOG or wherever they're launching from, last minute, last second, with some kind of exclusivity deal. And then it goes on Epic Games for a year before it can go anywhere else. We've seen it happen time and time again. We've talked about it here several times, where, you know, a game is about to come out in a few weeks, and then out of nowhere, it is suddenly, going Epic only, right? They've already sold pre-orders on Steam and all this other stuff, and there's a huge kerfuffle, and everyone's talking about it. It's like, oh my gosh, what happened? And all this other stuff. So, you know, Apple being the patron saints of whatever the heck it is that they think they are right now, no, Epic is not. They are definitely doing things that, I would say should be illegal, but I don't think they are in a business sense, especially when you got people who are looking forward to something launching elsewhere and then being told a week before it's launched, or 2 weeks, or a month beforehand, oh yeah, by the way, I know we've been saying this for 7 months, but yeah, it's going to be Epic only. Sorry about that. Here, all this other stuff. But anyway, so if you want to look at all this stuff, by the way, it's in the description down below. I've got things down there. The filings and stuff are also down there if you want to go look through all this yourself, because they're pretty long. I mean, let's just look at this here. Woo! I mean, that's quite a bit there. Anyway, but some things had heated up, right? Epic launched this lawsuit, but beforehand, they launched this lawsuit, right? And then Apple shut down Fortnite. It was like, Fortnite's off. Then they kicked the Unreal Engine off because it's an Epic thing as well, except for it's not technically Epic. I mean, it's Epic, but it's not the same group. I guess you can say it's a subsidiary of Epic. Anyway, it's not exactly in the business side of things the exact same people who's doing what's going on, right? So they did go ahead and ask for an injunction and all this other stuff to try and prevent that, and it was granted, right? They got a partial preliminary injunction, word I can't say apparently, preventing Apple from blocking the Unreal Engine on iOS, which is honestly a good thing. I like to see this spat between the two. However, blocking the Unreal Engine and the tools and stuff from the iOS is kind of a death blow to a lot of other people who are not Epic either, because people use things like the Unreal Engine or the Unity engine, whatever engine they're using, and to block an entire engine that, a good chunk of like 50% of the market is kind of using, or 40% of the market is kind of using, is it's doing more than just them fighting Epic itself, right? The guys behind Fortnite. So I understand going, yeah, you can't do that one, Epic or Apple. Sorry, you got to back off on that one. But Fortnite is still not there. But Apple has countersued, right? They have countersued Epic Games for a breach of contract. If I'm reading everything correctly, that is what they are currently suing for, because Epic breached their contract. What did they do exactly, you ask? Because you didn't see the previous videos that talked about this. You've been living under a rock. Essentially, they threw out a hot fix that put up their own storefront that circumvented payments through the Apple storefront, right? Their own special storefront, because if you go and purchase something, whatever their version of gems and crap are for Fortnite, Apple takes a 30% cut of any and all purchases on apps on their store, because it has to go in through the Apple store, right? Or it's got to go through the Apple's version of whatever payment processing and stuff like that. And it is, it's a 30% that is essentially a commission at this point. It's not really payment processing. Most people assume that that's what it is because it's dealing with payments, but it's more than that, because, for the most part, if you're a developer on iOS, right, and you're using the iOS store, you're essentially getting a ton of tools and things for free. They don't make a buck off of you until you start selling things. So if you've got gems or whatnot for, $4.99 for like 300 gems or something like that, every time that $4.99 is charged, Apple will take 30%, which is used, of course, to pay their people, to pay their engineers, and upkeep of the store and all this other stuff. So it is essentially, a commission for using their storefront and having access to all of their tools, their API, and everything else that is available for a developer to use to put their game on the storefront. Meanwhile, Epic is going through and saying, no, this is purely a commission thing, and it's outrageous, right? And, I thought it was kind of outrageous too, until I really started looking into it and realizing how this money is sort of divvied up and transferred to wherever it needs to go and all this other stuff, because 30% seems pretty high. If you look at Epic themselves, they charge a 12% commission, right, to use their thing, especially if you're not using, and on top of, using a different engine, I think. There's a little bit more or something, and they reduce the cost if you're using like the Unreal Engine. So there's an incentive to use Unreal and use the Epic storefront, right? I may have got that backwards. I apologize. But anyway, essentially, if you're using the Unreal Engine, you do get sort of a discount. And then if you were to, say, put it on Steam, instead of being charged, the 5% on the Epic storefront for use of, the Unreal Engine, you're charged 10% or 10% of something or whatever, instead of, so it's a bit more expensive to then put your game on Steam or GOG or Xbox or wherever that you're going to put your game at, unless it's just on Epic's thing where they give you sort of a discount, right, if you're using the Unreal Engine. But it's interesting to see that Apple or Epic is going after Apple, saying that it's monopolistic and it's horrible and all this other stuff to charge a 30% payment processing, while they go around and say that their 12% is essentially just a commission, and they break it up in the same way of how it works. You use their storefront, it pays the engineers, pays people to fix it and to maintain it, which is still a horrible storefront, by the way. Epic, your storefront sucks. Anyway, but Apple has fought back, right? Apple is coming back, and we're going to go ahead and just start with the introduction. Say we're not going through this entire thing. It is in the description if you want to go look at it. But yeah, Epic's lawsuit is nothing more than a basic disagreement over money. Although Epic's portrayal itself as a modern-day corporate Robin Hood, in reality it is a multi-million-dollar enterprise that simply wants to pay nothing for the tremendous value it derives from from the App Store. Epic demands for special treatment and cries of retaliation cannot be reconciled with its flagrant breach of contract and its own business practices, as it rakes in billions by taking commissions on game developers, sells and charging consumers up to $99.99 for bundles of V-Bucks. And damn. that's gotta hurt. But yeah, I mean, that's essentially what we've been talking about this first half of this video, right? Epic does the same thing. It also does other scummy things where it poaches developers from other platforms for their exclusivities on the PC realm. And, they charge a ton of money for V-Bucks, and V-Bucks makes them a lot of money. Although being off of Apple, 27.5 or 3 billion? I think is what it was that they've lost. Or maybe it was million. Billion? I think it was billion. Give me 1 second. I've got to now take a look at that. Okay, it's 27 million that they lost purely out on, being kicked out of the iOS store, which, they broke the contract. And on top of that, it's not like it was an accidental thing, right? This is purely planned. We've seen it. We noticed it. We know what's going on now because they had a whole marketing campaign surrounding it the second they launched this lawsuit. Suddenly you had free Fortnite and all this other stuff. And at the time, I'm pretty sure I tweeted the free Fortnite thing just for the heck of it, for shits and giggles, not knowing what was actually going on at the time, because I was like, oh yeah, that video and stuff that they were doing with the parroting of the Apple 1984 commercial and stuff was pretty good. And I was like, oh, that's actually pretty cool. I wonder what's going on. Then I looked into it and was like, Epic, you fucked up. you shouldn't have done that. But anyway. And they continue. For years, Epic took advantage of everything the App Store had to offer. It availed itself of the tools, technology, software, marketing opportunities, and customer reach that Apple provided so that it could bring games like Infinite Blade and Fortnite to the Apple customers all over the world. And by all accounts, Epic has taken advantage of Apple's support and service more than any other app developer for the past 2 years. Fortnite has only been in the App Store since 2018, but in that short time, Fortnite has used more than 400 of Apple's unique application programmers interface, which is API. I think I mentioned that earlier. Maybe I didn't explain it. I apologize. Framework and classes such as Metal, as well as 5 different versions of Apple's software development kit, their SDKs, have been reviewed more than 200 times by Apple's app reviewers, and 3 have pushed more than 140 unique updates to the Apple customers. And each time Epic released a new season of Fortnite, Apple put it in the spotlight, providing free promotion and favorable tweets, ultimately sending over 500 million marketing communications to the end users, and even paying for a billboard in Times Square to promote a particular Fortnite in-app concert. Shit, Apple. Why? Granted, it probably made them a ton of money. That's why. But Apple seems like they have bent over backwards for Epic, pushing Fortnite for them. And, this right here just shows what I was talking about earlier, right? That 30% that is charged every time somebody makes an in-app purchase is to cover this stuff here, right? It's to cover the employees and the people who are, developing these tools, these SDKs, these APIs, doing the reviews, doing the lookovers, paying for the marketing that they're doing of their own, free will or whatnot for the app, or maybe they were in talks about it or something and they're subsidizing it. It's like, yeah, we could do this. We'll go ahead and do this because you've been good to us for this much. You've done a lot for us, kind of deal. And things like that. That's what that 30% covers. All of that kind of crap, right? And Epic is getting greedy, like super greedy. They're biting the hand, and the hand bit back. But then they continue, right? But sometime before June 2020, things change. Epic decided that it would like to reap the benefits of the App Store without paying for anything, which sounds like an Epic move. That definitely sounds like an Epic move. I still think that Epic might be attempting maybe, to build their own thing, but maybe they just wanted free, to use Apple without paying for Apple, right? But Mr. Sweeney demanded a complete end-run around apps fee. Specifically, Epic wished to continue taking full advantage of the App Store while allowing consumers to pay Epic instead, leaving Apple to receive no payment whatsoever for many services it provides developers and consumers. Mr. Sweeney also demanded the right to copy the App Store to deliver a complete Epic Game Store app and in another bid to line Epic's pockets as an Apple expense, and fundamentally changed the way Apple runs its App Store business for over a decade on the iOS operating system for iPhones and iPads. Mr. Sweeney expressly acknowledges that his proposal changes would be a direct breach of multiple terms of agreements between Epic and Apple. And if I should scroll down a little further. Found it. Anyway, as you can see, I was going to say it'd be interesting if they included that email exchange or something as an exhibit somewhere. They did on the first form when this stuff does. But you've got a email here with Tom Sweeney, by the way. And this is where they're like, yo, look, there's restrictions imposed by Apple that Epic is unable to provide customers with certain features in our iOS apps. We would like to offer customers the following features: competing payment processing options other than Apple payments, without Apple fees in Fortnite and other Epic software distributions throughout the Apple iStore, competing Epic Store app available through the iOS Store, and through direct installation that has equal access to underlying operating system features. There it is. That's what I was talking about. What they really, really want. Their own Epic Store app. Anyway, yeah. So, yeah. That's dang. This is getting long. Anyway, yeah, talking about court stuff with court filings does take a bit. But Epic fired they conclude, by the way, with this. But Epic filed the first shot in this dispute and is willful, brazen, and unlawful conduct cannot be left unchecked. Neither Mr. Sweeney's self-righteous and self-interested demands nor the scale of Epic's business can justify Epic's deliberate contractual breaches, its tortious conduct, and its unfair business practices. This court should hold Epic to its contractual promise and award Apple compensation and punitive damages, and enjoin Epic for engaging in further unfair business practices. Yeah, which is something I've been saying since the Epic storefront, that, you know, when they're poaching things, that it feels like Epic is doing some kind of unfair business practice type deal, and always wonder if it's legal or something. I mean, so far, nothing has come out of that. So I just assume it's legal, but it does feel unfair and unwarranted, especially when you're waiting for it on Steam or something. There's nothing worse than having to wait an additional year because the game you want to play won't come out for a year on on Steam because it's exclusive to Epic. And you really don't like Epic. But let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I will talk to you later. See ya!
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a comment, smash that like button, and always subscribe for more. And of course, there are other videos floating around somewhere on the screen, so click one of those and see if you can find something that suits your fancy. Till then, I'll see you later. Bye.